Hello, Pony. Welcome back. It's finally time we begin the second act. So many things have happened now. But now, we get a new character. And I think he might be part of the solution to helping Inverno control his anger through music. Without further ado, please enjoy. Inverno in F minor. Written by Cracked Inkwell. Chapter 14. Key signature in F major. 3 days later, arriving by a Pegasi-drawn chariot, Inverno's teacher arrived at the gates of the Empire. The stallion carefully leapt out of the chariot, thanking the gilded Pegasi, and huffing them both some bits from his saddlebags. Before he entered the palace, the stallion looked at his reflection in the crystal walls. His orange mane was combed back, his beard was trimmed, and there was no dirt on his yellow coat or the image of piano keys that sat on his flank. Adjusting his glasses, the aged stallion took a deep breath, readying himself to meet a different kind of royalty. He found a few guards to show him to his new employers. The guards led him through the labyrinth of passages to the throne room.
Presenting Professor Key Signature of Canterlot University.
A guard announced as he entered the magnificent crystal throne room. On the throne was Cadence, walking down from her seat to greet the professor. Welcome to the Empire, Professor, she said politely. The Earth Pony in turn gave a bow to the Princess of Love.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to have me at one of the great wonders of Equestria.
After Cadence adjourned the court, she personally escorted the professor to his room. We were wondering when some pony for Inverno was coming. He was getting a bit anxious about meeting you.
To be honest, Your Majesty, I'm a bit nervous teaching the
Signature
colt.
pulled on the collar of his tie.
Sombra's child, isn't it?
Cadence nodded.
To be honest, Your Majesty, I'm a bit nervous teaching the colt.
Don't worry too much about him. I think you'll get along perfectly fine with him, she reassured him.
What is he like anyway?
The professor asked as they turned a corner.
I wasn't given much on the fool, other than who he's related to.
To begin with, he can be a bit naive at times, but I think this is due to living his entire foalhood in a secret apartment. He can be curious about certain things. Like, for example, he wandered into the kitchen the other day, and he almost walked right into the heated oven because he wanted to know why they put pans and trays in them. He is still mourning for his father, so watch out for that. Also, as a bit of fair warning, whatever you do with him, do not make him angry. Professor Signature raised an eyebrow.
And why not?
You know how Sombra's dark magic is influenced by fear?
I have heard something like that to an extent.
His magic is influenced by anger, except the difference is that once he gets angry and things started breaking around him, it's a bit difficult to calm him down. And one last thing. Like yourself, he has a love of music. He knows how to play the organ, and I think he's experimenting with the piano. But there's something else I think you should know.
Yes?
Caden stopped in front of the door to his suite. Well, according to him, he claims that he can actually see music as it's being played out. The aged stallion blinked.
Pardon?
I know how you feel. Even we are not exactly sure what that all means. We've noticed that whenever he's playing or listening to the phonograph, he goes into an almost hypnotic state.
Now I'm curious. Where is he anyway?
Cadence lit up her horn for the earth pony. At this time of day, he's in the music room. This will be your room. When you're prepared...
With all due respect, Your Highness, I'm already prepared. I'll unpack later. For now, show me the student.
Very well. She showed him to the palace music room. As they got closer, the sound of organ music was increasingly present as they neared the room. And then they came to the source of the music. Inverno was at the organ, playing what looked like a ballad off the hoof written parchment. Even as they entered, the colt never broke his concentration on the music in front of him. Inverno, I would like you to meet some pony. When Inverno didn't respond, Cadence called his name a few times, even waving a hoof in front of his face. Signature, on the other hoof, looked over at what key the pale unicorn was playing, and at a certain point in the music, pressed the wrong key. Not only did this break Inverno's concentration, it made him jump out of his seat. Ah! Inverno shouted as he fell backwards from the organ's bench. Inverno, are you all right? Cadence asked, helping him up.
What just happened?
Inverno questioned. The pink alicorn gestured over to the stallion. Inverno, I would like to introduce you to your new teacher, Professor Key Signature from Canterlot. As the colt's cat-like eyes landed on the elder stallion, the professor couldn't help but feel unnerved to make eye contact with what looked like the eyes of a predator rather than a pony.
Afternoon. My name is Key Signature, Professor of Musicology. I have a master's degree in music and a bachelor's degree in history. I'm going to be a personal tutor.
What's a degree?
Inverno blinked, and Signature waved a hoof.
Sorry, it's college talk for how many years I've spent studying in a particular field of interest. You don't have to call me Professor if you don't want to. Just Key would do nicely.
Okay.
Inverno sat himself back on the bench again.
Are you gonna start teaching me right now?
If you like.
He turned to Princess Cadence.
I believe I can take care of things from here. And don't worry, I know how to get to my room from here.
The pink alicorn giggled. All right, if you say so. If you get lost, just ask a guard, and they'll show you where to go. The professor said that he'll keep that in mind as he turned back to the young unicorn.
So, before I start, I do have a question to ask of you. Do you know any key signatures?
You mean you?
And the stallion chuckled.
No. I mean, do you know signatures like B major, C sharp, those signatures?
Oh, yes, I know them. I know how to play all of them, major and minor.
Well, this is going to make my job easier.
Key sighed in relief.
Because I'm planning to teach you in a different way than I usually do with my students.
What do you mean?
I was sent here not to not only show you the evolution of music, but to also teach you what happened in all that time. You're going to be my test subject in a new field of study that I've been thinking for a while now. I'm going to teach you history from the point of view of music. So...
He hopped onto the bench right next to Inverno.
Tell me, in the Empire, what kind of music do you know?
What kind?
Inverno put a hoof to his chin.
Well, there are ballads, anthems, serenades, marches, dances, and cannons.
The professor nodded.
I see. So tell me, do you know what a fugue is?
The unicorn tilted his head.
A what?
Good place to start.
Key said to himself.
Tell me, do you know how a canon works?
Yeah, a canon is where you take a theme and you repeat it at certain times while adding more to it at each round.
Very good. A fugue does just that, but it goes further. Not only is the theme being played over and over, but each voice has developed melody in what we call counterpoint. In other words, while the main melody is being played out, the other voices would harmonically relate, but still have a unique voice. Perhaps I could illustrate what I mean by playing one.
I guess so.
Key turned to the keys of the organ.
May I?
Inverno motioned for him to go ahead. The professor pulled and pressed a few buttons before he started to play.
This one is from the master, J.S. Butch.
Key told him as he started to press the first few keys. And that was chapter 14 to Inverno in F minor, written by Cracked-Inkwell. Every pony, we finally get to meet Professor Key Signature, who is played by September Moon. He seems level-headed despite initially seeming slightly afraid of Inverno because of his eyes. But with time, patience, and bonding, I believe Key Signature could help Inverno control his anger through music, which in turn would help the young colt become more in control of his emotions, and he shouldn't be prone to anger too easily after a while. I do hope you've enjoyed this chapter, as it's been a long time coming, and I also hope that you enjoyed your holiday season and look forward to bringing in the new year with all of you. I am Lotus Moon. We are preparing the next chapter as soon as possible, and it will be ready very shortly. Do be patient and wait in your seats, everybody. The show will continue.